Right now at 10, 1 year later, and still more questions than answers. The family of a windsurfer killed on Lake Mendota is demanding action.
Plus, fears of a trade war has the state's agriculture business bracing for the worst after threats of retaliation.
And later, shocking video from the interstate. Another crash there this afternoon. This time a semi-truck goes up in flames.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. A year after a Madison man was hit and killed by a University of Wisconsin life-saving boat, questions still surround the incident.
Today, friends and family held a vigil to remember him and make a plea for more answers. Keely Arthur was there, and she joins us live from downtown Madison with what the family is saying tonight. Keely?
That vigil is just wrapping up here at the Memorial Union. Yu Chen, you'll remember, was that windsurfer who was hit and killed by a UW life-saving boat. Now, after the incident, the Dane County Sheriff's Department conducted an investigation. They turned their findings over to the DA's office. Since then, the DA has remained silent, not answering whether or not this tragedy was an accident.
We do love him, and because he did a lot for all of us.
Even though the Dane County District Attorney's Office remains quiet about Yu Chen, family and friends have not.
What happened in that lake? How could a life-saving boat kill people?
It's exactly a year since the 43-year-old scientist who spent his downtime volunteering as a Hoofer's windsurfing instructor died.
He loves windsurfing, he loves sports, he loves to help other people.
The accomplished windsurfer was on Lake Mendota teaching a class when he collided with the UW life-saving boat.
A year ago, you were still out there surfing, riding the wave, but he's not with us anymore.
365 days after the incident, Chen was honored at a vigil and earlier at a ceremony at his gravesite.
We gathered together today, even after 1 year, because we do love him.
Showing that despite the need for so many more answers,
nobody knows any information from what happened. That's kind of unacceptable.
There's no question that Yu Chen is missed.
He always tried to help other people before caring himself.
He's a very, very nice guy. Yeah, everybody miss him.
Now, I did speak with Dane County District Attorney Ishmael Ozan. He said an announcement on this case should be made soon. Back to you.
Keely Arthur reporting live tonight. Keely, thank you.
Also a year ago today, the deadly explosion at Didion Milling in Cambria. 5 people were killed, a dozen more injured. Crosses are outside the building memorializing those who lost their lives. Abigail Tordoff lost her 21-year-old husband, Paul. She wants him to be remembered as someone who was always laughing and who loved to go fishing and be outdoors. It pains her to think of having to explain how he died to her now 15-month-old baby boy.
Someday I'm going to have to explain to him why we go visit our daddy at a graveyard and why we don't get to see our daddy and where our daddy is and why our daddy died. And I get to explain the horrific details to my innocent child and just crush his whole. It's just going to crush him.
The company, one of the top 5 employers in that area, released a statement today saying it is grateful for the support and prayers the company has received during the journey to recover and rebuild.
The person of interest in last week's shooting on State Street has now officially been charged for the crime. Police arrested 28-year-old Derek Page last Thursday, the day after the shooting. He's facing charges of first-degree reckless injury and possession of a firearm by a felon. Police say Page and the 36-year-old victim knew each other and had been arguing before the shooting. It happened last Wednesday in an apartment above Whiskey Jack's. The victim was shot twice, once in the head and once in the arm, but he's expected to be okay. A
fiery wreck closed part of the interstate this afternoon in Rock County. The Department of Transportation says the cab of a semi-truck caught fire and spread to the trailer. The semi also lost several gallons of diesel fuel, making roadways very slippery there. It closed all northbound traffic near mile marker 180 between Janesville and Beloit. No injuries were reported. It took almost 4 hours for crews to clear the scene. As you can see now, the interstate back up and running smoothly. This is at the intersection of I-3990 at County Highway S, Joe Pier Road. This is just the most recent crash along that stretch. Also, it's been the site of at least 3 other crashes this week, and officials are looking into potential changes there.
An accident yesterday had cars backed up for miles for several hours and sent 6 people to the hospital. The crash involved rear-end collisions, which Wisconsin Department of Transportation officials say are the most common type of crash in construction zones. After crashes like this, the DOT evaluates the project site.
If there are any crashes or incidents, we look into each of those and see what changes can be made to the work zone. But again, really remind the drivers to plan ahead, don't tailgate, and eliminate distractions when driving.
The DOT also works with emergency responders to plan ahead of time before crashes, letting them know about certain access points on the interstate so emergency vehicles can get there as soon as possible.
Turning to weather now, we could see some fog forming overnight as we get a break from the humidity. Meteorologist Karin Swanson with our first alert forecast. Karin?
Yes, we have that break in the humidity by tomorrow. We've had about a week now of the humid conditions, and tonight there are just a few showers on the map. Not a lot showing up at this point, but a few showers just to the north of Madison across parts of Columbia and Dodge counties. Those will head through overnight, and behind that we are looking for some dry weather tomorrow. Temperatures right now are in the 60s in northern Wisconsin, some 70s down to the south. We're at 71 degrees here in Madison, 72 in Wisconsin Dells, 73 in Platte. Our temperatures by early tomorrow morning will dip to around 60 degrees with some areas of fog possible. We'll also have some clouds tomorrow morning, but we should see some sunshine for the afternoon. It will be cooler and less humid with a high of 74. It does stay a bit cooler for the weekend as well. We'll talk more about that forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Karin. A sad update to a missing woman story from earlier this week. Today, Grant County officials say 58-year-old Patricia Hartline of Fenimore, who hadn't been seen since May 2nd, was found dead. Her vehicle was discovered by a farmer in the township of Millville. She was in the driver's seat. There is no indication of foul play. An autopsy is underway. President Trump is taking some flack today for pardoning a conservative activist who pleaded guilty and was convicted of violating campaign finance laws during the Obama administration.
After being pardoned this morning, Dinesh D'Souza took to Twitter. He said, quote, Obama and his stooges tried to extinguish my American dream and destroy my faith in America. Thank you, @real Donald Trump, for fully restoring both, end quote. The president also floated possible pardons for Martha Stewart and former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, who was convicted of corruption charges for attempting to sell Barack Obama's former Senate seat. U.S. stocks fell today following an announcement by the Trump administration that it will impose tariffs on imports from the European Union, Canada, and Mexico at midnight tonight. Some of America's closest trading allies, the extra 25% tax on steel, 10% on aluminum are scheduled to go into effect first thing in the morning, midnight tonight. Affecting countries are now pushing back. Canada retaliating, announcing dollar-for-dollar tariffs on U.S. goods and services, including imported steel and aluminum, as well as items like coffee, yogurt, and maple syrup.
Wisconsin farmers are bracing themselves because many of these retaliation tariffs are against agriculture products that are exported from Wisconsin.
Corn, dairy products, soybeans, ginseng, cranberries, all are potential targets for other countries to create tariffs on to make it more difficult for us to send them abroad. And each of those products are important to our economy, and so that's where our concern is.
The European Union is also threatening retaliation tariffs on American brands like Harley-Davidson motorcycles. The Milwaukee-based company says import tariffs on steel and aluminum will drive up costs for all products made with these raw materials, regardless of their origin. And those tariffs will hurt sales. The hottest and fastest moving lava from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is forcing new evacuations tonight on the Big Island. Residents in 2 coastal neighborhoods were ordered to leave as the volcano emergency enters its 5th week. While the site is spectacular, the threat is serious.
We want those people.
The U.S. Geological Survey says 1,500-degree lava is moving fast enough to cover about 6 football fields in an hour.
A dead bird found in Columbia County has tested positive for West Nile virus, the first case reported in the state this year. The virus generally spreads to humans through the bite of an infected mosquito. Last year, 48 cases of West Nile were reported among Wisconsin residents. Well, here's something you don't see very often. A burglar using a sledgehammer to break into the side of a Wisconsin Best Buy store, drilling a hole through the wall, crawled through. This happened in Greenfield, north of Milwaukee. The burglar stole several miscellaneous items and left, according to a press release. Police are still trying to determine exactly what was taken.
New tonight, more than 1,300 opioid overdoses happened in Madison in the last 3 years. That is according to officials with Madison Fire. Community members got together at the Madison Central Library today for a town hall about the opioid epidemic. The Madison Police and Fire Departments, along with the mayor's office, made presentations. Chief Mike Koval says it's a problem the Madison community needs to pay attention to.
This is not isolated to one demographic or one city, rural, urban. It's throughout our country, as indicated by the fact that this is now a national discussion that's happening. So Madison's not immune.
The Public Health Department is leading the effort, collecting data on the disease and bringing community agencies together to address the problem.
So to come at 10, starting tomorrow, you'll have to pay more to park in Madison parking garages.
And a new survey is out with the best and worst jobs of the year. We'll check those out next. Welcome back. A new report has rated the best and worst jobs of 2018, and an up-and-coming healthcare profession is topping the list.
For the first time, an annual report from CareerCast ranked a genetic counselor as the best job of the year. Rounding out the top 5, mathematician, university professor, occupational therapist, and statistician. Experts say they all share high pay, high growth outlook, favorable work environments, and typically a low level of stress. At the other end of the spectrum, a job feeling a lot of pressure from ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft, taxi drivers, along with loggers, newspaper reporters, retail salespeople, and enlisted military personnel, rounding out the worst of the worst.
Sears plans to close dozens of additional stores this year. The struggling retailer says it will shut down 72 more stores in 2018 and will begin closing sales soon. None of those is in Wisconsin. The decision comes after the company reported a $424 million quarterly loss. Starting tomorrow, you'll have to pay more to park in Madison's parking garages and lots. This is the first price increase in 2 years. The rate increases are expected to generate approximately $650,000 in additional annual revenue for the city. For a full breakdown of the increases, the story is on our website, channel3000.com.
It has been a busy week for the Wisconsin Lottery, with residents winning nearly $1.3 million in just 3 days. This afternoon, a northern Wisconsin woman won $1 million with a $30 1 Million Now scratch off. An Outagamie County woman won $75,000 on the Stinkin' Rich scratch off. Yesterday, a $67,000 Badger 5 ticket was sold in Waukesha County, and a $50,000 Powerball ticket was sold in Beaver Dam. And then on Tuesday, a $96,000 Badger 5 ticket was also sold in Waukesha County.
I like that stinking rich. Another baby is born this week at the Milwaukee County Zoo. On Wednesday, a harbor seal pup was born to Mother Sydney and Father Ringo. The pup is on exhibit, and zookeepers report it is doing well, nursing and bonding with mom. They don't know yet, though, if it's a boy or a girl. Tomorrow is National Donut Day, and to celebrate, Travelocity named the top donut shop in each state. Pinelli's Bakery in Kenosha earned the honor for Wisconsin. It has been serving southeastern Wisconsin since 1923. Travelocity also called Kenosha a donut mecca, with several major and tasty bakeries.
Well, if the heat has not been your thing over the last few days, Karen Swanson says you'll get some relief tomorrow, right?
Yeah, some relief starting tomorrow and really continuing through the weekend with some cooler temperatures and also less humidity as well. We do have just a couple of showers on the radar map here across the state of Wisconsin right now. Those are affecting some of our northern counties, just making their way into Columbia County and just kind of the far northwestern part of Dodge County right now. If they do hold together, we could see some of those in Madison within about the next hour. But overall, not many showers on the map at this hour, and those will be gradually falling apart over the next few hours. Our high temperatures today made their way into the 80s across southern Wisconsin. We were at 85 degrees here in Madison, which is once again well above normal for this time of the year, and that's really been the trend for the month of May so far. Our monthly temperatures have been averaging about 7 degrees above normal. That's without today's temperatures, because the final numbers are not in quite yet, but only 5 days so far this month with some below normal temperatures, and this has been one of our warmer Mays on record. We're in 8th place right now for warmest Mays with an average temperature, so that averages out all of the high temperatures and the lows so far this month to around 64.2 degrees. The warmest ever was back in the late 1800s. Our almanac for today shows temperatures at 85 and 69. Normals for today are 75 degrees and 51. Right now in Madison, it's 71 degrees. The air is calm and the air pressure is rising. We've got temperatures in the upper 60s to just into the 70s, a little bit warmer down toward Monroe at 77, 70 over toward Lone Rock, 73 right now in Juneau. Dew points are still well into the 60s. They were a little bit higher at this time last night, so perhaps not quite as humid, but still some humidity out there tonight, and that's going to be around early tomorrow morning as well. A cold front, though, making its way through should start to move some of that drier air in, especially by tomorrow afternoon. And that cold front is just off to our north tonight. Behind that front is where those cooler temperatures are located, but out in advance of it is where we have those 70s and 80s. So that cold front, that makes its way to the south as we head through tonight. Some clouds move in late tonight into the first part of tomorrow, but then we'll see the sunshine again for later tomorrow. And then here comes that next system that's going to arrive over the weekend. I think we'll see some showers and thunderstorms develop. I think the better chances will arrive later Saturday afternoon into Saturday night and then come to an end on Sunday morning. Tonight's temperature down to 60 degrees. Any lingering showers come to an end. Some patchy fog may develop late tonight. Then tomorrow we'll see some clouds for the morning, a little bit of sunshine for the afternoon, cooler and less humid with that high of 74 degrees. Here's how that looks on our future track forecast. So you can see those spotty showers falling apart. Then here comes that next deck of clouds, some cooler air starting to move in, bringing those clouds across the region for tomorrow morning, but breaking up again into tomorrow afternoon with those high temperatures returning to the 70s, so feeling a lot cooler than what we experienced today. We'll keep those temperatures in the 70s for the weekend with those shower and thunderstorm chances returning from later Saturday into the first part of Sunday. After that, we warm it up for the first half of next week with a dry stretch of weather. Some shower and thunderstorm chances return later next week.
Still looking good.
Still looks, yeah, really nice. Summer-like weather.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just ahead, Monte Ball opens up about his struggles with mental health and what he's doing to help others with the same hurdles. That's next.
Former Badgers running back Montee Ball left school as the NCAA's all-time leader in rushing touchdowns. He played in a Super Bowl his rookie season with the Broncos, but a leg injury, legal issues, and a struggle with his mental health derailed his football career. Now he's getting back on track, setting up the Montee Ball Fund to raise money for mental health services for UW student athletes. Montee opened up to me about his plans to help others now that he's moving forward.
I started to really feel isolated out there in Colorado. I kind of didn't really have anyone to speak to, kind of the same situations I had here, just suffering from depression. And then from there, I just kind of just went downhill. I had an incident, and then I was able to get therapy, own up to my mistake, and, let the world know that, I'm human, not minimizing what I've done, but from here forward, I got to make changes.
Ball says his biggest step was admitting he needed help.
And that's why I wanted to go this route and have the platform to tell people it's okay. If there's something you're struggling with, it's fine. Just reach out to somebody and receive the help that you need.
Linebacker Chris Borland was in the same class as Montee. The uncertainty surrounding head injuries was enough to make him walk away from the NFL after just one season. He's also turned his attention to helping the fight against unseen injuries, and that's why he's teaming up with Ball all over again.
There's a kind of a coachism about you're never as good or bad as they say you are. And so Monty, knowing him personally and then reading about, his struggles and also the things he's championed, he's a great person behind all of that. And so there's been this level of consistency even during the peaks and valleys. And it's great to see him at a peak now in a way that he can sustain.
Once I opened myself up and became vulnerable, as I was going through it, I was like, this is really helping me.
I've worked in mental health before, and it is a challenging thing. So to have someone, a football player and a man of Monty's stature speak out about it, I think is going to help a lot of people.
Montee's post-Wisconsin career could be a book all by itself, but now he says he better understands why he is where he is.
I was given the platform of football to speak on something greater than myself. I wanted to show people that, once you hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go. And I hope that I'm making that example.
Friday, June 15th, Melvin Gordon, Jared Abbrederis, John Stocco, Aaron Gibson scheduled to help out and many more at the Swing Full Recovery at the Bridges Golf Course to benefit the Montee Ball Fund. 10 a.m. shotgun start. Montee and Chris told me their golf games are works in progress. All of us have work-in-progress golf games. The WIA State Softball Tournament gets underway next week, but if you want to get there, it'll take one more win. Sun Prairie Cardinals have been winning all season, 25-0 heading into tonight's sectional final against Holman, 1-0 in the third. Sun Prairie starting to pour it on. Katie Taves delivers with the bases loaded, and with one swing, it's 4-0 Sun Prairie. Kellen Herwig doing her part. RBI knock. Makes it 5-0 in the bottom of the fifth. Rachel Jackson wants to send us home with a ticket to Run Rule City. An RBI single makes it 10-0. They're off to Goodman Diamond next week for the state tournament. Division III, Dodgeville taking on Poinet. Dodgeville getting on the board first. Grace Bourne to left. Cora Wesley scores, and Dodgeville takes a 1-0 lead in the first. Poinet up 2-1 in the fifth. Ashley Hellenbrand going to bring Casey Fountain home, making it 3-1 Pumas, and Maddie Bredesen gets the final out in style. With a strikeout, Pumas going to state. 3-1 the final score. We'll see everyone at Goodman Diamond next week, and we'll see you after one more break.
A special award for Aaron Rogers, receiving an honorary doctoral degree in humanities from the Medical College of Wisconsin.
The degree recognizes Rogers' commitment to end childhood cancer and his partnership with the Midwest Athletes Against Childhood Cancer Fund, the MAC Fund. According to the Packers, Rogers' actions have helped raise nearly $3 million for research that has affected thousands of lives. He looks very scholarly there, too.
He certainly does.
He's a smart guy.
And Karen's here with a final check of your forecast.
Yeah, we have just a couple of showers on the map this evening. Those will continue to fall apart over the next few hours. And with that, we're looking at temperatures dropping only to around 60 by early tomorrow morning. We'll start the day with some clouds, but we should get into some sunshine for the afternoon. 74 and less humid tomorrow. We'll stay in the 70s for the weekend with a couple of shower and thunderstorm chances.
All right, Karen, thanks. Thanks for joining us at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you here tomorrow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.